Hey there, fun food fans. It's Karen Ricks, head chef here at our kitchen classroom. And it wouldn't be Hispanic Awareness Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Latino Awareness / Heritage Month, or heck, any day with a Mexican meal or just a warm day without a refreshing glass of an agua fresca. And so we're gonna make some horchata today. Come on down to the bench, take a look at our ingredients. You are gonna be amazed at how quickly this simple yet refreshing beverage comes together. Come take a look. Alrighty, so down here on my bench, I have a couple of our basic ingredients. We're gonna get started with a combination of rice and almonds. You can use, a variety of different kinds of rices. What you're looking for is something starchy. I've got a very simple long grain starchy rice here, and almonds. These almonds have been slivered and blanched and peeled. You can use whole almonds, crushed, even not peeled. Just be aware that the final color of your beverage will look a little bit darker and maybe muddier if that's what you use. I've also got some sugar, cinnamon, lime, and a little bit of vanilla. All right, and we're gonna bring all this together in my big jar. This actually was just an old pickle jar that we are reusing here in our kitchen classroom in Tirana, Albania. I have actually made this beverage on 4 different continents, and so every time the mix of ingredients, the vessel into which it is mixed, they're all a little bit different. But growing up in Southern California and having this in restaurants, at food trucks, and street food stalls in Southern California and throughout Baja California, there are lots of big glass jars, like 10 times the size of this, into which you mix and stir the final beverage, and it is ladled and or strained or poured out of something like this. So this feels appropriate and the appropriate size for our little family to be able to mix up and share. You can use whatever large vessel is going to allow all of your ingredients to come together, mix, and store easily in the refrigerator. You just want to make sure that you're using something that's non-reactive, something that's not metal, for example, so that it doesn't react with the different ingredients that we're going to put together. Now, essentially, all of this stuff, I'm just going to dump it in the jar. Okay, so I'm going to start with my rice and almonds here. As I said, I grew up in Southern California, and I drank horchata as a child the same way that we would have juice or Kool-Aid or even water sometimes, some summers. And a few years ago, when my family and I were actually living on the Pacific Coast in Mexico, we had horchata, again, probably 3 to 5 times a week, especially in the middle of the hottest part of summer. At that point, because we were in Mexico, we were able to source some really amazing Mexican vanilla beans. So you can absolutely do that. You can scrape the seeds out of a vanilla bean in order to make this. You can use a traditional vanilla extract as well. Essentially, whatever you can get your hands on should work. This is really flexible. Now, to the lime, I have already peeled the zest off of 1 whole lime for this recipe, and I will leave a link in this video to another video that I made demonstrating a couple of different ways that you can get that beautiful lime zest. I'm going to reach back in here for a minute just to show you. The bigger peels in here are going to make it easier to see and possibly remove later because you don't want to actually eat or drink these. But we do want to make sure that we remove as much of the white pith as possible from the peel. We're focusing on the green. Here we really want the essence, the essential oils of the lime mixed into our beverage here. Our cinnamon sticks, I have 2. This is relatively tightly rolled, but it's also pretty short. So about 2 index fingers length. And I'm actually gonna break this up before tossing it in here to help infuse. I would not recommend using cinnamon powder for this, just because it doesn't mix in or infuse its flavors into the beverage in the same way. Cinnamon sticks are definitely better in this case. Now the vanilla that I'm using today is an Italian aroma di vaniglia. This is a vanilla essence, so this is a very concentrated 4 milliliters. If you're using vanilla bean, I would scrape 1 vanilla bean. If you're using a traditional liquid vanilla extract, I would use 2 to 3 teaspoons. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do is add my sugar. And this is just regular granulated white sugar because that's what's going to dissolve best in here. And that's it. I've dumped all those ingredients in there, and now we're going to mix it all together. I'm going to add some water. This water is not cold, but it's also not boiling hot. It's warm, like body temperature. The warm water is not only going to help us dissolve the sugar, but it's also going to help us to extract the essential oils, the best part of the flavor, from our cinnamon stick, our lime peel, and this is what's going to help draw out the starches in the almond and in our rice. So I'm just going to mix all this together. I just want to stir to help the sugars dissolve and everything just to start to get friendly in here. I love the way horchata looks as you're mixing it up. You can see all the different components swirling around together. Okay, and now that it's mixed and I can tell that the sugar has dissolved, I'm just going to top it off with some more water. All right. Now, this jar is going to find a home in our refrigerator for 2 days. I know that sounds like forever, but I promise you, if you are patient, your patience will be rewarded. So find a little corner in the back of your refrigerator, give it a stir a couple times a day, and when it comes out, you can, again, taste and adjust for seasonings if you want to add more or less, more sugar to it. If it's a bit stronger than you'd like, you can add some cold water to it. In a pinch, I have used a food processor or a blender to combine all of these ingredients and blend it up with some water before letting it sit for 6 or 8 hours in the refrigerator or only overnight. That will help to draw out some of the flavors, but I promise you it's better if you just mix it up like this and leave it for a couple of days. And there's your horchata, a wonderfully refreshing rice milk, agua fresca, just a great all-around cool and delicious beverage. Perfect to enjoy with your tacos, your enchiladas, with whatever you like. What wonderful dishes are you going to enjoy with your horchata? Leave me a note in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And I want you to come back and share your stories and your pictures in our Play With Your Food community. You'll find the link to that in the description below this video. Enjoy your horchata, and I will see you next time.